I never thought a family dinner would be the final blow. Not like that. Not in front of everyone. I'd been holding things together for months, maybe even years if I'm being honest, trying to believe in the love we used to have, or at least the memory of it. But that night, everything shattered. It wasn't dramatic at first. It was just awkward. I remember the clink of cutlery, laughter in the background, her mother's perfume hanging thick in the air. It was one of those long dinners, the kind where the food keeps coming and the smiles are forced. I stood to grab a serving spoon, and, in that tiny moment, I bumped into her mother, barely brushed against her arm. Before I could even open my mouth to apologize, she turned on me with a fury I didn't expect. She slapped me. Hard. The kind of slap that echoes. The kind that freezes a room. Her hand connected with my cheek like a whip, and I swear the world went quiet. Even the music in the background seemed to stop. She was standing, glaring, pointing to her dress. "How dare you touch me, you disgusting man. Clean my dress and get out." And then the worst part. I turned to my wife, expecting something, anything, a defense, a joke to break the tension, maybe a hand reaching out to mine under the table. Instead, she looked down at her plate and said, without missing a beat, "Apologize to her or leave." I stood there for a second, not knowing whether to laugh, scream, or crumble. Her mother looked smug, triumphant. The others at the table whispered. Her cousin smirked. Her dad looked away. Nobody did anything. Nobody said a damn word. So I left. No shouting. No slammed doors. Just a nod, a straightened jacket, and the kind of silence that says more than words ever could. I walked out into the night. The air hit me like cold water. I didn't go home. I couldn't. Instead, I wandered for a while, around the block, down past the old bookstore she used to love, over the bridge we used to walk when we were still figuring each other out. And with every step, I started thinking about how I got here. We'd been married 5 years. Met in college. She was this spark of life, smart, quick, gorgeous in that casual way that didn't try too hard. I fell fast. We had late-night talks about dreams, about building something real. I remember her saying once, "Whatever happens, I've got your back." She had my back. Until she didn't. Looking back, I don't know when it changed. Maybe it was when I lost that job 2 years ago and took a while to get back on my feet. Or when I started working late to cover her mom's loan payments, the ones she insisted we help with. Bit by bit, I stopped feeling like her husband and started feeling like a background actor in her life. And her mother? Always looking down her nose at me. I was never good enough. Not polished enough. Not earning enough. I remember overhearing her once, telling my wife that I was a phase. A placeholder. That slap confirmed it. I was never part of their family. Just an accessory. A disposable one. I ended up crashing at a motel on the other side of town. The kind of place that smells like bleach and desperation. I lay on the stiff mattress, phone buzzing beside me. 35 missed calls. All from her. I didn't answer. Instead, I stared at the ceiling and let myself feel it. The humiliation. The betrayal. The coldness in her voice when she chose her mother over me. But I wasn't just hurt. I was done. Done with being the quiet one. The one who always forgives. The one who walks on eggshells while everyone else throws stones. That night, something in me shifted. I got up the next morning and went home. Not to reconcile. Not to fight. To leave. While they were still asleep, or maybe pretending to be, I packed a single duffel bag. Just essentials. Passport, a few clothes, my laptop, the old wristwatch my dad gave me. Everything else didn't matter. I wasn't taking memories. Just space. But I didn't walk out empty-handed. Over the years, I'd been smart. Not out of distrust, but out of necessity. I'd kept a separate savings account. A quiet little fund I called the emergency parachute. Turns out, it was time to jump. Before I left, I did one last thing. I walked into the living room and placed an envelope on the coffee table. Inside was a letter, not angry, not bitter, just honest. I told her I loved who we were, that I still loved the woman I met, but I couldn't find her anymore in the person I lived with. That I wasn't leaving because of the slap. I was leaving because of the silence that came after it, because of the choice she made when I needed her to stand beside me. I told her I hoped she'd find her way, but I wouldn't be there to hold the map anymore. Then I locked the door behind me, got in my car, and drove. I was 3 hours out of town when I turned off my phone. 35 missed calls. I saw the number, saw her name, but I didn't touch a single one. Not yet. I needed time. I needed to breathe without flinching. I booked a week at a quiet little inn in the hills. Nothing fancy. A wooden cabin with a view of the lake. The kind of place that didn't ask questions when a man showed up alone with tired eyes and a worn duffel. The air was fresh. The quiet, healing. That night, I sat outside on the porch and listened to the stillness. No door slams. No passive-aggressive sighs from the kitchen. No in-laws pretending I wasn't in the room. Just crickets, a cool breeze, and peace. I slept for 10 hours straight. First time in months. By the third day, the calls stopped. The texts slowed too. I didn't open them, but a few came through as previews on the lock screen. The first were cold. I can't believe you'd humiliate me like that. You walked out on my family. You overreacted. Then they shifted. Where are you? Please just talk to me. I didn't know she would do that. You left a note. That's it. And finally, I came home. What did you do? That one made me pause. I stared at it for a long time. What did I do? I stood up for myself. That's what I did. But I knew what she meant. She meant the house. See, before I left, I didn't just pack a bag and write a letter. I also paid a visit to our family lawyer. We didn't have a prenup, her idea, back when love was enough and trust was implicit. But what we did have was paperwork that hadn't been updated since we got married. Joint ownership on the house, both names on the deed, everything split down the middle. Except I'd been paying the mortgage. All of it. From my account. For 3 years straight. I had records, receipts, and a lawyer who, God bless him, was meticulous with details. By the time they got home from that dinner, still full of whatever twisted satisfaction they got from watching me walk out, the locks had already been changed. Legally, she found a notice taped to the door, stating temporary possession of the property had been granted solely to me, pending divorce proceedings. A court date was already set. I'd filed before sunrise. And inside, empty walls. I took my things, yes. But I also took the things that were mine but never noticed. The art I bought, the tech I installed, the books, the personal pieces she claimed made the house feel like home. Turns out, the things she overlooked were the things she missed most. I also left something else. A second letter. This one wasn't gentle. It laid out everything. The years of being sidelined. The way she slowly allowed her mother to erode any sense of partnership between us. The public humiliation. The silence afterward. The choice she made when she told me to apologize instead of defend me. I told her I was done. But that wasn't all. See, what she never knew, what none of them knew, is that I had recordings. Not revenge porn. Not gotcha footage. Just audio. Little moments. Not staged. Not illegal. Conversations where she spoke with her mother about retraining me, about how he needs to learn his place, about how he should be grateful to be part of this family. There were emails too. Her bragging to her cousin about how easy I was to manipulate. How if he ever steps out of line, Mom will handle him. I handed everything to the lawyer. I wasn't out to destroy her. I just wasn't going to be the fool anymore. The court saw what it needed. The judge ruled in my favor. She could stay in the guest house if she had nowhere else, but she had to vacate the main property within 30 days. She contested it. Lost. Appealed. Lost again. 3 weeks later, she texted one more time. You really planned this, didn't you? And yeah, I did. But not out of malice. Out of survival. You spend enough time being treated like a second-class citizen in your own home. Eventually, you learn to stop asking for permission to breathe. You start building your own escape route. Quiet, steady, under the radar. I heard from her cousin, months later. Apparently, her mother moved back to her sister's place. Couldn't handle the heat when word got out. Her friends, the same ones who laughed at the dinner, started pulling away. Funny how fast loyalty fades when drama gets real. As for my wife, she went back to her maiden name, posted some cryptic quotes online about betrayal and growth. But those stopped too. I think she realized that when the narrative doesn't work anymore, silence is safer. I stayed gone. I rented a place in the mountains for a while. Started writing again. Picked up hiking. Volunteered at a local co-op. Did things that made me feel like me again. And slowly, the pain stopped being a wound and started being a lesson. You don't always recognize the last straw while it's falling. Sometimes, it takes a slap at a dinner table to wake you up. Sometimes, the moment someone chooses not to stand up for you. That's when you finally decide to stand up for yourself. I don't hate her, not even her mother. But I do thank them. Because without that moment, without that sharp, humiliating slap and the betrayal that followed, I might still be there. Still trying to make myself smaller to fit into a world that didn't have space for me. Now, I make space for myself. I haven't dated since. Not seriously, anyway. But I'm open. And when the right person comes, I won't be the man who stays silent when disrespected. I'll be the man who knows what peace looks like, what real love feels like, and what it doesn't. And if someone ever asks me why I left so suddenly that night, I'll tell them the truth. I didn't leave because I was weak. I left because I was finally strong enough to stop pretending everything was okay. And sometimes, the most powerful thing a man can do is walk away and never look back.